What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is time to do a tour video of my new manga room. For those of you that have been watching this channel, you'll know that I have been around for a pretty long time, and in the time that I've been doing YouTube, I've done probably like four tour videos of my manga collection. And this is essentially a library tour because I do have over 1,000 volumes of manga. And I really want to take you all through everything that I have in this room. I'm going to start in this corner over here and just kind of work my way around the whole room until I get to my hardcovers, which are behind my setup. So I'm really excited for this. I usually set this up and like kind of like a clockwork sort of pattern or whatever when I do these videos. So I'm going to show you pretty much everything that I have in this room, and I'm really excited to finally have this manga room set up. I've been teasing it for a really long time. It's been an absolute, just, it's been a work in progress. If you saw my last video that I did when I was setting this room up, yeah, it was just an absolute nightmare trying to get this thing going, but it's finally up, and I'm really excited to go through it with all of you. I haven't really read anything in like a month because it's just been trying to get this house in order, trying to get everything organized, and it's just been chaos. But now that it's finally organized, now that it's finally organized, I'm going to be able to start reading again. I actually started reading Billy Bat, which I don't even have in here. I just realized I'm going to have to put it back in here for this video, but yeah, let's get into it. I hope that you enjoy the rest of our time together. This is going to be a long video, so please strap in, sit down, and let's knock this thing out. Alright, so the way that I set this whole thing up is I started with author last names, and I started with the A's, and it goes all the way around the room, all the way to Z, so we'll end up over there at some point. Alright, so right off the bat, we've got Araki, who is one of the absolute goats of manga. So I've got everything up through volume 3 right here. I've only read like the first part of it, I guess, like part 1 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I never got into the rest of it. I do want to. It's just like I keep picking up stuff for different series and continuing on from there. So I end up not, unfortunately in the past, like I hadn't really been keeping up with series too much. And then we got Nana and Kaoru. That is the whole set right here of Nana and Kaoru. I don't have Black Label yet, but I do have them in a cart. And then I got Mako Vice here, just kind of like some decoration because they're so small. These volumes are so tiny that like I really like if I slide them in, you're not going to be able to see, or I wouldn't be able to see like where they are in the shuffle. But I'm going to move them just to show you what I got going on in the back. Back of this. So we got some other series here. We got Dracula's on the Night Shift. I picked this up because it kind of reminded me of Devil is a Part-Timer. And then this one right here, I'd seen the anime for this, so I ended up picking up the manga as well for Appare Ranman, I should say. Robotics Notes, I also picked this up. I like this writer's other series, which is Steins Gate. But since his name was like so tiny, I didn't realize it was there. So I went by Keiji Asakawa. And after Robotics Notes, I've only read the first volume of Robotics Notes, but I actually really enjoyed it. I need to continue it. Then we got another. That's a single volume series. And then after that, we have Noragami. I think I have most of Noragami, if not all of Noragami here on the shelves. And then after that, we have the first 2 volumes of Yokohama Kaidanshi Kiko. So this is kind of like a post-apocalyptic world. This girl who's like a robot, I guess, rides around, and it's like supposed to be like a pretty chill series. And then right here we got by Haru Aso, same creator of Alice in Borderland. This is kind of like more of like a shonen sort of a series than definitely than Alice in Borderland, which is definitely not shown in any way, shape, or form. I need to continue Alice in Borderland. That series is absolutely bananas. I only have like the first 4 volumes of it, but like I've been kind of slacking on keeping up with it. I like this one a lot too. This one's only 4 volumes. Illustrated Guide to Monster Girls. It's only 4 volumes, but like I really like that series a lot. We got, these are gifts from my friend Justin, my buddy Justin. The Idaten deities only no peace or something. No only peace. Kind of flipped through that one a little bit. I haven't read it. Well, that was a gift from my buddy. Just put that up there. And then we got Daemons of the Shadow Realm. I have everything that's been released up to this point. I think I don't know that I don't know if Volume 11 is out yet or not, but this is a good one. I was talking to a guy at work about this today. This is a pretty strong opening to this series. There's definitely one like I have to get back into and continue because I've had an absolute blast working my way through it. Same creator from Full Metal Alchemist and something of Arslan, I think that series is called. I'm not 100% certain. This is one right here that I picked up only the first volume because I intended to read the first volume, and then I never read the first volume, and then I was like, maybe I should just sell it. But I kind of want to read it before I go ahead and sell it. And then next to that, we have Portis. So this I read for a video that I did a while ago. It's not that great. I mean, there's definitely better series out there. Kind of reminded me of like The Ring a little bit. Kerberos in the Silver Rain. I picked these up because that artwork looks really sick. I think it's like some Yuri type of manga series. I think you can kind of see it in this one right here. It's got like some Yuri stuff going on. This is a Spanish series right here, or was it Violence Action? Pretty fun, like definitely like a lighter version of I think Nezumi Falling in Love or something, whatever it's called. Then we got a bunch of Inyo Asano. We got Downfall by Inyo Asano. We got Solanin by Inyo Asano. Girl on the Shore. That's the hardcover. No, actually, that's not. I lied. I do have the hardcover version though too of Girl on the Shore, right here. I've got the hardcover version of Girl on the Shore. I've got Goodnight Poon Poon, one of my favorite series ever. Goodnight Poon Poon. I've got all of Dead Demons. I haven't read this whole series yet, unfortunately, but I think volume 6 is the next volume that I have to read. I've read through 5. Absolutely love that series. This series as well is really good. I haven't read volume 4 yet. As you can see, volume 4 is still sealed. Of Mujina Into the Deep. Volume 4 is still sealed, but I read the first 3 volumes of Mujina Into the Deep. I think I talked about this series for a video, but I'm not 100% certain. But yeah, I still need to read this 4th volume. Love that series so far. This is another great one. Origin. I've praised Origin countless times on this channel. I am I think halfway through it. I'm probably like on 4 or 5 of it. But yeah, I mean, that's one of those series that it's just been an absolute blast to read. Man, Boichi is such a great creator. So I have the Spanish volumes of Sun Can Rock. I can't show you the back. I can't show you the back of this. I pulled it out previously and I saw the back and I was like, yeah, that's not going to fly on YouTube. So I'm actually just going to leave it there. So I have the first 4 volumes of the Spanish version of Sun Can Rock. This is a great, for the first volume of this is the only one I've read so far, but this is such a strong first volume. It's this dude who follows this girl that he's like in love with he follows her from Japan to Korea, and she's a cop, so I think he decides that he also wants to become a cop or something like that. I can't remember 100%, but it's really fun. It's really funny, and like you see Boichi's like just like really goofy sort of character work and whatnot, like the same character work that I feel like he excels so well at in Origin is definitely present in Sunken Rock. And then I have the Kodama Sunken Rock one right here in English. So I'm going to pick up these as well. I stopped picking them up in Spanish. I'm just going to pick them up in English now. So you'll see that I have certain series in both languages. I have them in Spanish and then in English because I started initially collecting them in Spanish. Now we have Kingdom of Quartz. I've read all of these volumes, all 4 volumes of it that are out. I've read. This is such a good series. Like when I first saw the cover of this, I didn't think it was going to be all that great, but as I got going reading it, like it's absolutely brutal and definitely no holds barred. I've not read Licorice Recoil that. I do need to. I picked up the first 2 volumes, like fully intent on checking it out, so I'm definitely going to get to it at some point in time. Especially now that I'm finally set up here, I'm going to start making more of an effort. This is a gift from my buddy Justin, The Abandoned. This is only a single volume series. I've got all of Chobits. This is another series that I really need to tackle. There's so many things that like I've collected, because like I plan on getting to it at some point, and I haven't tackled them yet. Big Order, I found this first volume. I think it was just the first volume of Big Order in Nashville, Tennessee, and after I found this first volume, I decided to like go out of my way to pick up the rest of it. So I ended up picking up the rest of the series. It's only 5 volumes deep, and so I ended up just grabbing the rest of it, and I have it all the way through 5. I think it's the final volume of Big Order. All right, so up here we got the continuation of Big Order, Volume 5. This is Tatsuya Endo. Like, he drew this. He didn't actually write it himself, but he drew this series. Kind of surprised that he would draw this because, like, I just, like, know him from things like, from, like, Spy Family and this series right here, which I personally like a lot. Blade of the Moon Princess. This is a series where like I wasn't in love with the opening of it, but it actually gets better as it goes. I think I've read the first 2 volumes of the series, and yeah, it's just like it's a lot better as it goes. And then we got 4 rooms, or no, I'm sorry, 4 lives remain. This is the same dude, Tetsuya Endo. And then we got one of my absolute favorite series is After God. I've read all of these volumes of After God. Just an absolutely wild ride. It's like a world where gods exist, but you cannot look at the gods or you will burst into a body of water. And then we got Succubus Hitman. I only read the first volume of the series, but like I picked up a bunch of it. I need to continue it. I need to get back into it and read volume 2 at some point. And then we got Chiyu Atera. This was an absolute banger, first volume. I need to get back into that as well. I collect series. Like sometimes I'll collect the whole thing and then only read that like first volume and then like just sit on the other volumes because like I keep trying to keep up with new things that come out. This is the same dude who wrote Kaiji, which I actually have the next tier below. I have Kaiji, so I picked that up because I wanna check that out. It's a single volume confession. And then we got Kaiji right here. We got the first 3 volumes of Kaiji. We've got No Longer Human. I have not read Furuya's version of No Longer Human, but I have read Ito's version, and I've also read the original version by Osamu Dazai. Love this one right here, The Music of Marie. This is such a good series. I highly recommend checking this out. It's like a single volume series, but it is such a wild ride, and I don't think that anybody that has read it has felt like they wasted their time with it. This is Suicide Club, but in Spanish. This is also Furuya. These are all written by Furuya. And I got some Chainsaw Man stuff. So what I've been doing is like I've been trying to keep certain things by certain creators together. Like I put since these are all Chainsaw Man things and they're by Tatsuki Fujimoto, I decided that like it would be cool to keep them together. I no longer own my Chainsaw Man volumes. I actually sold them to a fan of the channel. I don't know if you're watching this, if you want to out yourself or not, but I sold them to a fan of the channel. I was in the middle of my move and I needed to sell a lot of stuff, so I ended up selling my Chainsaw Man volumes. I don't regret it because I actually really needed that money. And then we have Fire Punch right here. And there's like a single volume of Chainsaw Man in Spanish. This was before volume 12 came out of Chainsaw Man, so I ended up picking this volume up. Because I wanted to like even though I was reading it already on the app, I just kind of wanted to have a physical volume of it because I didn't know when Volume 12 was going to drop in English. And this right here is one of my favorite series ever, Fire Punch. 8 volumes, solid series all the way through. I did like 2 videos about it. And then we got Look Back. This is an absolute banger. Goodbye Eri is another banger. The Goodbye Eri definitely needs an anime. I don't know if it has one coming out or not, but it definitely needs one. And then 22 through 26. Actually, these are backwards. I should put this first. I just realized right now these 2 are backwards. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's some like earlier works, from before he ever started writing, like Fire Punch or whatever, into like about when he started writing Fire Punch at like 26. I'm a collector of things, as you can tell. I like a lot of different things. I've got right here we have a Pip-Boy from Fallout. I'm a big Fallout fan. So we have Sekide. Bums me out, man, that I don't have volumes 5 or 6 of this series because they are out of print. and they are extremely expensive. People sell them for like $300 or more, and I'm not paying that kind of money for either of those volumes. I don't need them that badly. I just do wish I had them. We got the Breaker, the whole set of the Breaker. It's 5 volumes. This is a pretty wild series. It's a Korean series, really well written, a lot of fun. Kind of reminds me actually a lot of Sunken Rock. I'm not really sure which one came first, but those are two really fun Korean series. Because for those of you that don't know, Boichi is actually Korean and not Japanese. We got City Hunter right here. There's the first 2 volumes of City Hunter. I'd said at one point in time in this channel that like if City Hunter ever had a manga released in English, or ever had the manga re-released or released for the first time, whatever in English, that would pick it up. And ended up getting released in English. This is a series that like I've caught random episodes of the anime throughout the over the years. I've just caught random episodes of the anime on I forgot what that channel's called. And then we got Steins Gate right here, Steins Gate 0. Or O, whatever you want to call it. I have all 3 volumes of that right here. And then by Hideshi Hino, by the legendary Hideshi Hino, we've got The Town of Pigs. I've read that. I have not read Panorama of Hell yet for whatever reason, but I did read The Town of Pigs. We got Under Ninja. I didn't like this dude's other series, I Am a Hero. I actually sold my single volume of I Am a Hero to, I think, the same dude that bought my Chainsaw Man volumes. Yeah, I have the first 4 volumes of this. I actually like the series a lot more than I did I Am a Hero. We got Uncle from Another World. This is a pretty fun one. I really like the series a lot. It's super irreverent. Pretty much this dude is like totally like inept when it comes to other people, but he's got like super OP powers or whatever. A lot of fun world. Like shows his grandson, not his grandson, his nephew. He shows his nephew, and like his nephew is like not quite girlfriend, but girl that he's into. Things that he's been through and seen in this other world, and it's sad. It's an absolute blast because like of how dense he is and whatnot. Right here by the same dude that wrote Helsing, we've got the Drifters. I guess I only have the first volume of this. I haven't read it yet, but I do need to. We got Corpse Blade. This looked like a lot of fun. I haven't started it yet, unfortunately, but I did pick up like the first 2 volumes of it. Really hoping to start it soon. I want to start putting like a real dent into my manga. I've actually been doing that since like last year. I dropped a tour video last year, and I've just been going hard. And this year too, I've been going kind of hard, trying to get a lot of reading done. And in this past month, like I just haven't gotten any reading done since like sometime in May. I just like have gotten 0 reading done because I've been so swamped with trying to get this house with the move done and everything. It's been brutal, dude. But now that I'm finally set up, I'm gonna start trying to read again. Yeah, so this is Mushihime, which is like insect princess or something. Pretty sure that's what it means. Uh, I picked this up because it just looks absolutely insane. Like the artwork for it looks wild as all hell, and like each of these volumes just has like such like, insane looking artwork. Just look at that, dude. These are in Spanish. These aren't in English, unfortunately. Not yet, but that's not to say that they won't ever end up in English. I hope that they will. Smile. Was not a fan of the first volume of Smile. I thought it was kind of weak, but it actually gets a lot better. Like volume 2 of Smile, this one right here, really pumps up the action a bunch, and it starts to get a lot creepier. I have not read volume 3, as you can see. Volume 3 is sealed, but I have read the first 2 volumes of Smile. I do want to get into volume 3 soon. I've got the first 3 volumes of Kingdom of Z. Those are a gift from my friend Justin. I've got Akira Falling in Love. I want to read this really badly. I only have the first 2 volumes of it, but I think that's all it's out right now. But yeah, I really want to read it. I've been picking it up just because like I have a feeling that I'm gonna really like it a lot. I've read like halfway through this. I think I'm up to like either 4 or 5 of Shimazaki in the Land of Peace. This is such a good series, dude. It gets so much better too as it goes. Like it's essentially like these people that were involved in this like kind of a war at one point in their lives when they were younger, and they're in a sense displaced. They're trying to hide out in different places. They live in like little sects of people and enemy combatants or whatever from that same war, or like just like sleeper agents try to kill them, and he's just trying to survive. He's one of these agents that like there's a guy that's trying to come after him. And it's funny because like they keep running into each other throughout the whole series. It kind of reminds me of Family Guy, like Peter versus that giant chicken. Like it's like every time these two guys see each other, like it's on site. So it's like it's absolutely hilarious. And like they both always survive the fights, but like they're always going at it. This is like a much older series. This is Tokyo Zombie. There's a scene here where a wiener gets chomped off. It was pretty sick. We got Kingdom. This is a great one. I've read, I think, the first 3 volumes of this. Have I read the first 3? No, I don't think I've read this 3rd volume, but I've read the first 2 volumes of Kingdom. I do need to read volume 3. I've had an absolute blast with it. We got Prison School by one of my absolute favorite creators ever, Akira Hiramoto. Prison School, one of the most just outlandish, irreverent series ever. This is what put Akira Hiramoto on the map for me. I had no idea who he was before Prison School, and this is a series that really kind of dropped the ball, unfortunately, at the end. It's like a lot of people feel like it just maybe went on for maybe longer than it should have. I feel like this series does that same thing, unfortunately, Raw Hero. I really liked Raw Hero a lot, but by the ending of it, it was kind of like a ball drop. I feel like he could have done... I feel like Akira Hiramoto could have done a better ending for the series, especially since it was so short. It was only like 6 volumes. So he could have definitely given it like a way better ending. I'm starting to read this one though, by Akira Hiramoto as well, Futari Switch. I read the first volume, really liked the first volume a lot. I gotta read the 2nd volume. I haven't started it yet. Obviously, as you can see, it's sealed, but that's like a body swap one. It's a lot of fun. Horizon, I gotta read the last volume of Horizon. I gotta read the last volume of this. This is a Korean series. This is by J.H. He's also written another series called The Boxer. I had the first 3 volumes of The Boxer, but I sold them, so I no longer have them. Nothing against that series. I just was kind of like in a state where like I really needed to get rid of a lot of stuff really quick. I ended up getting rid of those because I just wasn't really clicking with it. I didn't really see any need to continue to collect it, so I just got rid of it. But it's not a bad series, it just wasn't for me. Dorohedoro, I love Dorohedoro, I love Hugh Hayashi, that's one of my favorite creators ever. I have all of Dorohedoro, I have the rest of it on the next shelf above, so let's move on. So right here we got more Dorohedoro all the way through 23, which is the ending of Dorohedoro. I've read up to 16 of Dorohedoro, and that's about where I left off. I need to start it back over from the beginning. It's been so long since I read it. So one thing you'll notice in this room, if you come into my room, into this manga room of mine, you will notice that I have Godzillas literally everywhere. I have Godzillas everywhere. Got a Godzilla there. There's a Godzilla there. There is. There's a Godzilla there. There's a Godzilla right there. There's a Godzilla there. There's a big Godzilla up there. He's got a one-wish willow. I wonder what he's going to wish for. But yeah, back to our regularly scheduled programming. So after that, that's where I had my ADHD moment. So we got Die Dark. Got a lot of Die Dark. I have not read the last 2 volumes of Die Dark, which would be these 2 right here. But I've read all the way through 7. I have to read these 2. I used to read them as they came out, but I've just been kind of falling behind on a lot of my reading. And then we got this series right here. I need to read this. I think I was going to read it. I pulled this out at one point. Like I was going to read it, but then I decided to read something else instead. But I'm definitely going to get into it because I only have like the first 2 volumes of it. I haven't picked up any more of it because it's one of those series where like I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. I hope that I'll like it, but I don't know for certain. Next we got Sacrifice of My Manly Soul. This is one that I actually really do like a lot. Kind of reminds me of like the work of Akira Hiramoto a bit. Haven't read these last 2 volumes yet, but I'm really looking forward to it because I love the first volume so much. And this is another series that I absolutely adore. This is Black Lagoon. I love Black Lagoon, dude. It's one of my favorite series of all time. Love the anime. I decided to start reading the manga. I'm pretty far into the manga. I think I'm about to it's not quite that far, but I am up to somewhere around here. I'm on Rebecca's arc, which I can't remember like how far into it I got. Probably like about here. Yeah, I'm probably like about to volume 8. Then we got Galaxias. I've read the first volume of this series, really liked it quite a bit. It's this world where there's guys that have like what he has there, like that graph that he's got on him. there's people that have that, and then like this girl right here has been stuck on this island her whole life, and then he just randomly appears one day and helps her get off of the island, and they kind of go on like on an adventure together. I haven't read the second volume yet, but I really liked the first volume, so I ended up picking up the second volume. Kagurabachi, I don't read this physically, I read it digitally, and I was collecting the physicals to support, but right now I kind of want to really collect too much more stuff unless I'm planning to read it, since like I literally just bought a house and I don't want to be kind of spending needlessly. But yeah, I love Kagurabachi, dude. I keep up with it as the chapters drop. Like as each chapter drops, I am there reading it every single week that a new chapter drops. And these new ones have been absolutely insane. I don't want to say what happens. I will say that there is a time jump of sorts, but that's all I'm going to say about it. Parasite, I love Parasite. I haven't picked up the color editions of it because I really don't care that much. I'm good with these, dude. I read all of them. Love Parasite. Summertime Ghost. This is a series that I'd started to, or Summer Ghost, sorry. This is a series that I'd started to read, and then I kind of like abandoned it. Like I need to get back into it. I think it was like maybe too slow for me. Then to get back into it. Break of Day. This is another one that I need to read. It's like a single volume, so like I was gonna actually read this for a video. I was gonna pick like 5 single volume series and read them all for a video. I might still do that, so if I do that, I'll end up reading it for that. Color of the End. This is another one that like I really need to read. I've been putting it off, and it really sucks. There's a lot of stuff here that like I just keep putting off. All right, and then down here we've got 3 volumes of this Junji Ito collection in Japanese. A friend of mine, an old friend of mine, went to Japan many years ago with her, I guess now ex-husband, and she brought these back for me from Japan, and I still own them, and I'm really happy to have them because it looks really good on the shelf, even though I'm probably never going to read them because I don't read Japanese. But I'm going to move them for right now so that I can show you what's going on back here. We'll put them up here for now. It'll be our little secret. Like Bob Ross. Alright, so then we got Witches right here by Daisuke Igarashi. I love this series. I did a video about this series that's done really well on the channel. One of the best series is not really a series, it's like one of the it's not really a series. It's like a single thing. It's a collection of stories like vignettes or whatever. And then we got Uzumaki by the man, the myth, legend, Junji Ito. This is absolutely my favorite Junji Ito story, Uzumaki, and then we got Gyo. I've read most of these for video. Like I've been doing a video, so like I've been rereading the ones that I've already read, and then reading ones that I hadn't read. So all of these on top are read. Uzumaki, Gyo, Fragments of Horror, Cat Diary, which made me cry like a little girl. Tomiya. I wasn't a huge fan of Tomiya, but I did read it. Dissolving Classroom, Shiver, Frankenstein, Smashed, No Longer Human, Venus in the Blind Spot, Remina. I was really disappointed in Love Sickness, Censor, Deserter, The Liminal Zone, Black Paradox, sorry, Dissolving Classroom. That's just the same series from over here, but like in a hardcover. And Tombs, I was in the middle of Tombs. I was reading it before I moved. I think I'm pretty much in the beginning of it. I haven't really read that much of it yet. And then we got Boichi down here, Mimi's Tales of Terror, Alley, Uncanny, which is like his autobiography or whatever. The Liminal Zone 2, Moan, Statues. This is a collection of other creators that he did the artwork for, but he didn't actually write any stories for it. I think he wrote an intro. And then this one I just put here too because like he did artwork for it, even though he didn't actually write this series. This is a different creator's series, and like he just did the artwork, but I just included it with Ito stuff. And then we got Be Very Afraid of Kanako Inuki. I really like this series a lot. I mean, I keep saying series. It's like a single volume. I really like this volume a lot. A friend of mine read it. She didn't like it at all. She thought it sucked. But I mean, I don't know. I guess we all have like different opinions on things, but I loved it. And then we got Magus of the Library, sorry. This is by Mitsu Izumi. She also did another series that I really liked a lot called Seventh Garden, and for whatever reason, she like left it half-assed. She only did like some of it, or did up to like volume 8 or something, and then like it was going to be a continuation, and then she just never continued it, which is a bummer, and then she started doing this series. And then we got Heavenly Delusion. This is a really good sci-fi. Like I'd almost call it like a hard sci-fi series. Really brutal. There's people that there's like kids that are like kind of engineered in like a lab or whatever, and then there are these kids that live on the outside world and they're trying to survive, and there's like these grotesque creatures that will attach themselves to human beings and like viciously mutilate them or like kill them, whatever. I haven't read this yet, but I really want to. It looks absolutely wild. Then we got an absolute banger classic right here, Baki the Grappler. I've read the first two volumes of this series. I need to keep going. Read volume 3 and onward and whatnot up to. I've got up to 6, and it's pretty deep into it. But yeah, I've only read the first two. Really liked the first two volumes a lot, so I definitely need to keep going with it. Then we got Drip Drip by Baru Itagaki, who is the daughter of Keisuke Itagaki, who is the legend behind Baki the Grappler. Love this one right here, Drip Drip by Baru Itagaki, one of my favorites that I've read. And then I have the first 3 volumes of Sanda by Baru Itagaki. So I have the first 3 volumes of this. So it's like this kid who turns into Santa Claus, but it's like a young dude, and like he literally like turns into Santa Claus. Uh, and then I have it in English here. So I stopped picking it up in Spanish and just started picking it up in English. We got a Trillion Game. It's the first 3 volumes of Trillion Game. I haven't started this yet, but I'm not going to pick up any more of it either until I read that first volume to determine, if I like it or not. So like once I read Trillion Game and decide that like, yeah, this is something that like I want to read, then I'll keep it going. Then we got My Gorilla Family. I read all of this. I read this whole volume. It's a bunch of like vignettes or whatever, a bunch of stories that this creator had written, and it was okay. I didn't think it was that great. It's from the Smudge line. There's some like way better Smudge line. I guess volumes or whatever are different from different creators that I thought were like way better written than this one. Like all these dudes' characters look exactly alike. Like it's hard to differentiate them. They all look the same. I did a video actually about the Smudge line up to like volume 5 at the time. Volume 6 hadn't come out yet when I made the video. This is one of my absolute favorite series of all time. This is Mieruko-chan. I have read every single volume of Mieruko-chan that is available in English, and it only gets better and better. The first volume and the anime kind of ruined it, I think, because it made people think that this is like Yuri or like it is kind of Yuri. I'm not gonna lie about that. It is a little Yuri, but I mean, I think it made it seem like it's like really like lewd. It made it seem like it's a really lewd series, and like it really ramped things up, ramped the lewdness up, and it's really not a thing in the manga. There is like a lot of like really strong Yuri aspects of it, but I mean it's not like that bad. Like with the lewdness and whatnot, that was way dialed up in the show, and I really didn't appreciate that because I feel like it would end up just turning a lot of people off to Mieruko-chan, which is such a good read. Candy and Cigarettes. I still need to start this series. I only have like the first 2 volumes of it, but I do really need to start it. I'm a fan of trash. Let's just say that I'm a fan of trash. So I have Witches of Aldamas. I only have the first 5 volumes. I never picked up any more of it, and like these volumes are like really hard to come by now, and I'm kind of good. I only have the first 5. Like I think I started reading the third volume. I think it was the third volume I started reading, and I was just kind of like, you know what? I think I'm good. I was just like, I kind of hit that like I don't think I need to read any more of this thing, but like I also don't want to sell them. I'm just gonna keep them for whatever reason. I don't know. Don't ask. I don't know. It makes sense to me, I guess. This is the same creator of that series, so this is one that just started coming out. Let me check this out. Let's make a zombie harem. So yeah, I really don't know. It's probably gonna be extremely lewd as well, just like Witches of Aldamas, which is just it's one of those series where it's just like I have no idea how this isn't hentai. Alright, we're gonna keep it going. Up here we got the second volume of the same harem series. And then we got Love Bullet. I don't know where the hell volume 2 is at for this, if there's ever gonna be a volume 2. This is the only one that ever came out. And I don't know what's going on. I really want this. I really need a volume 2, man. Come on, let's get a volume 2 going because I loved this first volume. So this is a lot of fun, man. There's these girls that all died at different points in their lives, and like I think they had like unfulfilled love or something, so they became like kind of like cupids, and they use like weapons to like try to make people fall in love, and it's so much fun. Like the characters, those girls, they're all so much fun. Like they go at it, and like they have like full on like warfare, like they're shooting each other and whatnot, and like bombs are going off. It's absolutely hilarious. Like I really need a volume two of it. It's pretty like heavily Yuri for sure, but it's like yeah, I liked it quite a bit. And then we got Tokyo Ghoul. We got the whole set of Tokyo Ghoul by the man, the myth, the legend, Sui Ishida. Yeah, so we got all of Tokyo Ghoul, and then we got right after that we got Tokyo Ghoul Re, all of Tokyo Ghoul Re down to the bottom, and then also by Sui Ishida we've got Choji Next up through 5. I was gonna sell these volumes, but I decided to keep them because I really wanna start Choji Next. But it's like I kind of want to read Tokyo Ghoul as well. Like I was gonna do that. I keep every year I'm like I'm gonna start it this year. I'm gonna start it this year, and like I keep not reading it. So I'm probably gonna go through all of Tokyo Ghoul, go through all of Tokyo Ghoul Re, and then maybe I'll just like stack up Choji Next and read them at some point. This just got an anime. Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You. This literally just got an anime. I haven't seen it yet, but I've read like the first 3 volumes of this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I've read the first 3 volumes of it. I have not read volumes 4 or 5, but I did read the first 3. Liked it quite a bit. Though this reminds me heavily of Akira. If you read it, I think you'll see like that there was a pretty strong Akira influence on Ado. One of my absolute favorite series is this is getting an English release by not Kodama, Ghana. Yeah, this is getting an English release by Ghana Books. Uh, Jagan, I love Jagan. I've read up to here, I think, up to like 6 of this series. I have not finished it yet, unfortunately. It's like it's all in Spanish. These volumes are in Spanish, and it's kind of like I can read Spanish, but it takes me a little bit longer to read it, especially since it's like Spain Spanish. I don't really know that Spanish that well. Like there's certain words that they say that are kind of out of my wheelhouse because I'm like I speak like Mexican Spanish. So yeah, we got Super Ball Girls. I put this over here because like this is written by Kaneshiro and not by Akira Hiramoto. So I put it with Jagan since he's the writer, the main writer for this. This is one of the series where like the first 2 volumes were okay, and I almost gave it up until I read volume 3. And volume 3 was absolutely bananas, so I decided, okay, I'm gonna end up just continuing to read the series. It got so much more insane. Lady Snowblood, one of the best films ever. One of my absolute favorite films that I've ever seen. These are Spanish editions of Lady Snowblood, the original series upon which the 1970s film is based, starring I forgot what her name is. I think it's like I can't remember what her name is. I'm not gonna lie. And then we got a bunch of Naruto all the way through 27. This is from the first box set. I do need to pick up more of it, but it's gonna end up just eating up so much space that I think I'm just gonna sit on the first box set for now. And we've got Delicious in Dungeon. I have this box set as well for Delicious in Dungeon. Love the anime. Decided that I needed to own the box set. I'm definitely gonna read it at some point. Like I need to start, putting the pedal to the metal and start really getting a lot of my manga read. I have read quite a bit of it too, but like I need to like really sit down and start putting a real dent into a lot of my stuff. This is Satoshi Kon, Opus. Never read this. Really need to. I did read the collaboration that he did with I can't remember the guy's name, who did Ghost in the Shell, Mamoru or something. And then we got Seek and Destroy. This is based on a series by Osamu Tezuka, and I think Dororo. Yeah, it's based on Dororo. So, just this first volume is like really dystopian. Kind of reminds me of like Ayn Rand. There's like a pretty clear like post Soviet aesthetic to it, and yeah, dude, it's so good. Like Cold War, post Soviet. I've only read this first volume. I still need to read the other 2 volumes of it. I haven't gotten to them yet, but I will 100% get to them because I loved that first volume. And then we got Frank and Fran. It's the whole collection of Frank and Fran. This was a reprint because I think this was out of print for a while and then it's getting reprinted. And then we've got the series right here, which has like a really long name. This is based on a light novel. This is apparently disillusioned adventurers will save the world. I've read the first like 2 volumes of the series. It's only up to 6 in English, but I've read the first 2. Really like it a lot. Really excited to continue reading it. This is trash. This is Honey Trap Shared House. I've only read that first volume. I do want to keep reading it. It's literally just trash. But there's nothing that you're going to gain insightful from reading it. This is a gift from my friend Justin right here. I haven't read it yet, but this girl looks like she's an absolute psychopath, like a yandere type of character. I picked this up because I like ghost stories, and that one looks like it's a lot of fun. Alright, and then this is like the Masasumi Kakizaki corner. I've got a ton of that dude's work. Right off the bat, we got La Mujer del Espía, which is like the spy's wife or whatever. I think in Japanese it's like Spy no Tsuma, spy's wife. Then we got, these are in Spanish by the way, obviously. And then we got Hideout, also by Masasumi Kakizaki. Then we got Green Blood. This is like his western. And then right after that we have Gene X. I'm pretty sure this is like a much older series that he'd done, but for whatever reason, like I put it over here instead of at the front. And then we got Yomotsu Hegui, the Tree of Death. It's a 3-volume set. Pretty good read. And then we got Bestiarius. This right here is like his dark fantasy series. I like that the guy's covered, like a spy story, horror type of monster story, a western, like a mutation sort of a story, death god story, and then he's got like a dark fantasy story. So I mean, I really appreciate the man's grind. All right, so over here we have Colorless by Kent. I've read the first volume of this. I'm actually going to start it back over because I don't remember it that well. But a cool thing with this is like that there's like random color in the series. There's like random spots of color. Like you can see right there, just random spots of color and different things. But it's a world where like the color's been bled out of the world. And then this is also by Kent. I think this is the follow-up series. This is more of like a shonen kind of a series. The other one was more, I guess I could say like seinen or whatever. We got Call of the Night. I really like the series a lot because it's about a kid who was like an insomniac. And I am an insomniac, so like I felt like I really connected to that aspect of it. And like he stayed up all night. I used to like love staying up all night when I was a lot younger. Can't do that anymore because I'm old. I'm an old man now, and staying up late messes me up. Also because I wake up super early. I read up to I don't even know what like volume 4 of this, or not quite volume 4, like volume 3. Might even just start back over dude because like I really don't remember. It's been a while since I read it. And then Hell's Paradise, one of my favorite series is right here. Just absolutely wild. From the first volume, it really kicks off, and you see that things really just are not going to go well, like whatsoever. Then right here we have Ayashimon. It's only 3 volumes. Really bums me out that it never got to have a proper run. It really should have, but I guess the numbers just weren't there. People weren't reading it, so it got dropped by Shueisha or wherever is in charge of that. But I read those first 3 volumes and loved them. Record Journey. I wanted to pick this up. So this is a deep cut, kind of like a little channel lore for those of you that may be newer to the channel. I used to have a segment on this channel called Vinyl Journey, and I used to talk about like different records that influenced me growing up because I'm a big fan of vinyl. I'm going to break the immersion a little bit to show you my records. I have a lot of records. I am a huge fan of vinyl. I've been collecting for like more than 10 years, so like I'm a huge fan of music. And I used to run, I'm not really run, but I used to do a segment on this channel called Vinyl Journey. And I kind of cut it out because it really wasn't doing well, and this channel started to kind of turn into a manga channel because I kind of cut up my time between talking about music and talking about manga. And the music part of it really wasn't doing too well, but the manga part of it started to like really blow up. Like my manga videos were doing really well and my music videos really weren't doing that well. So I just made the channel fully manga and then eventually ended up just removing all of my music videos from the channel. But yeah, I used to do a segment called Vinyl Journey. Some of you might remember that. If you do, let me know in the comments if you remember when I used to do the Vinyl Journey videos. So I picked that up because of that, because it reminded me of that. I thought that was pretty cool. This was a pre-order. I've not read this yet, unfortunately, but I really like this artwork. Really reminds me of Hell's Paradise, so that's kind of the reason that I picked it up. Really want to check it out. So people on Instagram, I've heard talk about the series and praise it and whatnot. I kind of like that she looks almost like Audrey Plaza. I have like a secret crush on her. So yeah, I picked that up because of that. And so this is, I'm not really sure if this is kind of this creator embodying the works of Franz Kafka, who was a troubled writer who'd gone through a lot of things, and he had some great quotes. One of my favorite quotes ever is a Kafka quote that I cannot remember right now off the top of my head, because I have the attention span of a moth, and I'm also kind of like trying to get through this. Divine Incursions. I think I like this volume, but I'll be honest, I can barely remember it. I can barely remember this volume. I remember now, so like there's like just body parts that fall out of like the sky or whatever all over the place, and I need to reread this, dude, because I'll be honest, man, like I barely remember it. Must have not left like a much of an impression on me, because like yeah, I'm like blanking pretty hard when I try to remember it. But I do remember that like body parts like fall out of the sky or whatever, and they like I guess they go investigate it. Destiny Lovers, I did a video about this forever ago. I think I might have unlisted it, or maybe I didn't. I have no idea, because it really didn't do too well. I had a lot of views and like not much love, but pretty much this is like a series where like I kind of like these kinds of series. Like I'm not really a fan of series where like characters have sex. I'm more of a fan of series where like characters are teased about not having sex. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like kind of like Prison School. Like that's kind of like what I'm into. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me, man. To be honest with you. I don't know what's wrong with me, but yeah, like in this series, like if people have sex, if guys have sex, they turn into like horrible monsters. This is Dead Man Wonderland. Love Dead Man Wonderland. Saw the anime forever ago. I think the anime only covers up to like so much of it. It doesn't cover like the whole series. I think it only covers like maybe up to like 6 or 7 of the manga. And then by the same creators of Dead Man Wonderland, we've got Smoking Parade. I've read the first 2 volumes of Smoking Parade. Some of the writing's a little wonky. It's like kind of not that great, but I mean I don't know. It is what it is. I'm not gonna sit here and like judge it too harshly. But I have the whole thing regardless. I have all 10 volumes of Smoking Parade, and then next to that we've got Noah's Exorcist. I remember when this came out on the app, on the Manga Plus app. I started to read the first chapter and then like kind of abandoned it, didn't really continue it. I ended up picking up the first volume of it and I actually really liked the first volume a lot. I haven't read volume 2 yet, but I do plan to. This is a 3-volume set as well. This is Momo or Legendary Warrior Momo. There's only a 3-volume set, so I just picked the whole thing up. I haven't started it yet. The Fable, really like the series quite a bit. It's like a killer that kind of has to go into hiding because he's killed too many people and he needs to lay low for like a year. So him and his like getaway driver, who is that girl right there, they go into hiding together and they assume the identities of like Akira, and I forgot what her identity was, but they go into hiding, and even though they're technically in hiding, everything that can go wrong does go wrong to try to like expose them for like not being who they say they are, and he's actually like the secret assassin called the Fable or whatever. Then UFO Mushroom Invasion. This one wasn't terrible. I think I kind of liked this one. I forgot what I rated it out of 5. I haven't read this yet, but I like the artwork for it. I don't like that he's got a sword. Not a sword, but a katana. And I don't know. It looked like a worthy read, so I definitely got to check that out at some point. Huntress, I actually really liked. At first, I wasn't like in love with it. I thought it was kind of weak. Yeah, I think I remember like not being like a huge fan of it in the beginning, but by the end of it, the ending like really freaked me the hell out, and I actually really liked it by the ending. I think I talked about it in a video at one point. I still need to read Monster Tribe. I haven't read it yet. I only have the first volume of it. I have the first 2 volumes of this series. I need to read this. I'm sure a lot of you probably already know the series, Me and the Alien Moo. I picked up the first volumes because it looks like such a cute series. These were gifts from my buddy Justin as well. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff that he's gifted me. I haven't read this yet, but it looks pretty quaint, like pretty cute. So I'm definitely gonna have to check it out at some point. I have read the first volume of It's All Your Fault. I give it like a 3.5 out of 5, but For whatever reason, I was like, you know what? I'll give it another volume. I'll check out Volume 2 and see if I like Volume 2. And I haven't read Volume 2 yet. But if I don't like Volume 2, I'll probably just flip it, get rid of it, sell it. And then this is really good. Tokyo These Days. I've only read this first volume of Tokyo These Days, but absolutely solid first volume. This is like super duper slow. If like you're not a fan of slow series, you're not gonna have a good time with this one. It's pretty much like this old guard of manga creators, and they get together to try to create a new manga, but it's like really slow paced. I think like you have to be a certain kind of manga fan to enjoy it. If you're a fan of like fast paced action packed series, you're probably not gonna have a good time with it. But if you like slower paced stuff, I think you'll have like a way better time with it. All right, one of my new favorite obsessions is this series right here, 100 Ghost Stories That Will Lead to My Own Death. I've not read this fifth volume yet, unfortunately. I've not read this fifth volume yet. I do really want to. I've read the first 4 volumes of it that are out currently. Every one of them just absolutely nuts. I think I did a video. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I did a video about 100 Ghost Stories. And I don't want to say too much about it, but what I will say is that there's pretty much this kid who every night he tells a different ghost story leading up to the 100th ghost story. And each one is kind of interwoven with his personal life, and you see like really crazy things that are going on in his personal life, and it's clear that there's like an abusive parent in the household or whatever. But yeah, it just gets progressively crazier as it goes, and some of the stories are absolutely terrifying. I really like this first volume a lot. This is a Spanish series. I don't know if it'll ever get translated into English, but I did really like that first volume. She is a Valkyrie or something, and then he's like a warrior. It's kind of like an isekai. He gets isekai to Valhalla, as you can see, Valhalla or whatever it's called. Yeah, he gets isekai to Valhalla, and then he's got to help her. She's a Valkyrie, and they're gonna go take on these big bads. The first 3 volumes. I think it's an ongoing series, or at least it lasted more than 3 volumes. I've got some physicals for Berserk. I've been collecting these as they drop, even though I haven't really been. I'm not this far into it, unfortunately. I'm still like up to like volume. I think I'm up to like volume 8 of Berserk. But I love Kentaro Miura, so I'm just collecting him to honor his memory. This is also by him, Duranki. I haven't started this yet, but I do want to at some point get into it. And then we got High Rise Invasion. I've told the story like a million times, but I'd read High Rise Invasion a long time ago in like 2015. I had read High Rise Invasion, but I knew it as Denku Shinpan. Like I was reading it on this app, and it wasn't called High Rise Invasion, and this didn't even get published until I think way later in English. Yeah, but when I first read it, I want to see like when this actually got published. So this got published in English in 2018, so it hadn't been published in English when I read it in like 2015. It wasn't published in English, and so yeah, when I first read it, it was Tenku Shinpan, and I'd like looked for it, like I was looking for it in English to try to pick it up, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And then later on, I ended up seeing it, High Rise Invasion, and I was like, oh damn, dude, that's that series. So that was pretty rad, and I ended up just picking up all of it because I wanted to get back into it. I actually even started it all the way back from the beginning, like I remembered it. And I still haven't gotten back to the point where I left off when I was reading it. So I must have gotten pretty far in reading that series. At my one job that I had, like when I would go on lunch, I would like just sit there and read Tenku Shinpan, and I would also read Doro Hidoro. And then we got Daddy Do Dead. I got the first 2 volumes, or the only 2 volumes of Daddy Do Dead. This is a dude from I can't remember what country he's from. Yeah, I can't remember what country he's from. He's from it's like on the tip of my Estonia or something. If I'm not mistaken. I'll put whatever country he's from, like if I can find it. I've supported his work so far, like every volume that he drops of Daddy Do Dead, like I'm there and I pick them all up. This is Farewell Daisy by Jun Yamazaki. I love her other series. Like I haven't read that. I haven't read these either yet. After the Rain, I've not read these. I think this is an anime as well. But I'm a fan of this one. This one also has an anime. I'm a fan of Kowloon Generic Romance. This is a pretty good series. I've only read like the first 3 volumes though, but I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the volumes. There's one character that has like a snake tongue that I'm not like a huge fan of, but yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep reading it. I think it's ongoing still, It's up to like volume 11 in English or whatever. But yeah, I want to keep reading that. And then one of my absolute favorite series ever. I read all 3 volumes of this, Soloist in a Cage. I did a video about this forever ago. This is such a heartbreaking series. It's so well written though, man. Shiro Moriya just absolutely crushed it with this series. I remember doing a video about it because I had to talk about it. It blew my mind so much. And the artwork, the world, the setting, everything's so bleak. This girl going on this like insane adventure to save her little brother, and it's such a brutal experience, watching her just be beaten to a pulp and still getting back up and still trudging along and still trying to save him. And yeah, dude, it's a tough read, but it's such a it's such a worthwhile read. Alright, so up here we have The Summer Hikaru Died. Got the first 3 volumes of that series. I actually really liked this first volume. I think I might have read volume 2 as well, but I don't think I've read volume 3 yet. And then we've got Shuna's Journey by the man, the myth, the legend, Hayao Miyazaki. I don't have any of his other, Studio Ghibli stuff in manga form, but I do just randomly have that one. We got Boys Abyss. I have read all of Boys Abyss up to this 13th volume. There is, I'm pretty sure, like one last volume left of Boys Abyss to close that series out. I really liked it for a really long time, and then it's kind of hit a point where it's just gone on like maybe way too long, and maybe longer than it should have. But there's only like 1 volume left, so I'm just gonna stick it out. All right, next up we got Ikigami: The Ultimate Limit. I have the whole collection of this series, 10 volumes. This is kind of like not quite a death game thing. This is like, I think at childhood everyone is implanted with some kind of device that goes into their bloodstream, or not everybody, but just a random person of so many people or so many kids will be implanted or like drink something. I forget how it goes, but eventually there will come a day when a person's name is picked out of like a lottery, and you'll get something like this, delivered to your door, and it'll tell you what time you're going to die. And it's kind of brutal because people have like 2 days or something to enjoy whatever time they have left on this earth before they lose their lives. And then we've got Call the Name of the Night. This is really beautifully drawn. I talked about this first volume for a video. And then we've got 12 Dirty Deeds. This is like a Yuri series. I think it's complete in 3 volumes. I have all 3 volumes of it. And then beneath that, we've got Magical Girl Dandelion. I haven't started this yet. I only have the first volume of it, but that artwork really piqued my interest. I'm a big fan of like really nice artwork, and that will look towards this. I started reading this series, and I kind of lost track of what the hell was going on. Like, I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention, but like at one point in time, like I couldn't really understand like what the point of it was. So I'm going to eventually just start it back over from volume 1 to see if I can make better sense of it next time. We got Velveteen Mandala. This is hands down one of the most insane things I've ever read. I think I talked about it in the video once a long time ago. But yeah, it is absolutely bananas. Then we got Dead Rock. This is the same dude who did Fairy Tail, and what was the other series he did? I forget what it was called. Yeah, I'll put it on the screen somewhere. I've read all 4 volumes, two of Dead Rock that I have there. Isak, I have not read this yet. The first 3 volumes of the series, I got them on sale, so I ended up just picking them up. But I do want to read it. Kind of like gives me like a Golden Kamui sort of vibe with that artwork, and that's what made me interested in wanting to check it out. So I'll eventually end up getting into that series, and yeah, I have the first 3 volumes of that. All right, more of the Smudge line. We've got Her Frankenstein and The Girl Who Raised the Dead. These are both by the same creator. I have not yet read The Girl Who Raised the Dead. I think this was the 6th release of the Smudge line, and I've read the first 5 releases of the Smudge line. So I've read Her Frankenstein. Really enjoyed Her Frankenstein quite a bit. I talked about it in my Smudge video that I'd done. Really enjoyed it a lot, and yeah, I really want to get into The Girl Who Raised the Dead. I'm sure, given how good Her Frankenstein was, I'm sure that one's going to be really good too. This was a gift from my buddy Justin. This is Barefoot Gen, about the atrocities, committed against Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And then right after that, we've got Fuan no Tane. We're getting Fuan no Tane asterisk in English at some point. This is just like, think of Fuan no Tane. Because there's like, I don't know how many of those series. I mean, how many? Yeah, pretty much like series. I don't know how many of those he had done. Masasaki Nakayama. Or Masaaki Nakayama, sorry. Yeah, I don't know how many of those he'd done. And then we've got PTSD Radio right here, also by Masaaki Nakayama. I'm sure many of you know the tale of what happened, with PTSD Radio and why he stopped writing it, but supposedly that might not actually be fully true according to some more recent things that I've heard. But I don't know whether it's true or not. The series is still pretty insane in my opinion. I did a video about it on the channel a long time ago that I think is doing to this day pretty well. And then we've got Gannibal, another series that I absolutely love. I love Gannibal. Up to one point, only like the first 3 volumes of this series were available, and then there was like no volume 4 for a long time. Like it was announced and then it just never dropped. When it was supposed to release, it never released, and then we all kind of lost hope that we would ever get more Gannibal, and now starting to release again. So given that I had personally lost hope in ever getting Gannibal again in English, I started to pick it up in Spanish. So as you can see, I have the first 6 volumes. Not the first 6, but volumes 4 through 7 in Spanish for Gannibal. I was gonna start reading them in Spanish, and then they announced the continuation of it in English. So I ended up just deciding to hang on and just wait for these to come out in English. I guess if I get too impatient, I can just start reading them in Spanish since I have it up to 7 in Spanish. And then we've got Abadona by None. This is a series that I've been really wanting to read. A lot of people have been saying really good things about it, and I just keep putting it off because there's so much stuff that I have on the TBR. And it just grows and grows and grows and grows, and I really am trying to tackle everything, but it's just impossible because I've also been trying to get back into reading comics. Like I've been reading Animal Man and enjoying it quite a bit, so I've been kind of stuck on that. And Mysterious Disappearances, I like that series a lot. I've read up to, I think for this series, I made it right up to like 5. Yeah, I'd say probably about here's where I've read up to, because I remember that girl. So I've read up to about at least 5. I've read most of this by Tsutomu Nihei, by Omega. I think I still had to read these last 2 volumes because I started reading it a long time ago, and I know for sure that I've read like the first 4, but it's been so long that I'm just gonna start back over from volume 1. And then you got Tower Dungeon in the back here. We got Tower Dungeon. I need to start this at some point. I guess this is more like a shonen-ish series from him. And I got the first 4 volumes of it. We've got some Supergirl stuff down here. I picked this up at KFC today. And then this actually arrived in the mail today too. Lobo on a motorcycle. This is pretty rad. Really happy with this. We're gonna move them down so we can get to this stuff at the bottom. And then right here, Yasuhiro Naito, same dude who did Trigun. We have
Blood Blockade Battlefront.
first two volumes of
Blood Blockade Battlefront.
And then we've got River's Edge. This is a series that I've been wanting to read, and I still have not read it. I think it's like a compilation of things, or like a what is it? Kind of like a series of vignettes or whatever. I think these characters' lives intersect or whatever. Then we got Seraphim, 2666 Wings. This was a collaboration between Mamoru Oshii and Satoshi Kon, the late Satoshi Kon. And I think Mamoru Oshii had read somewhere was going to, or had entertained the thought of turning this into a novel or something like that, but I guess it just never actually happened. And then we got Sayuri. It's pretty much like a ghost story series, or at least I think it's a collection of ghost stories based on this one young girl. And then we've got Immortal Regis. Only the first two volumes of Immortal Regis are out in English. This is kind of a case like what we had with Gannibal, where like right now we only have these first two volumes, and who knows if we're ever going to get volume three or not. And then right after that, we've got Verses. I think all we have right now for Verses are the first 5 volumes, and I've read every single one of them. I love Verses. Every time a volume of the series drops, I am there reading it. The first volume, I can't remember if I loved or not, but I mean, as it's gotten going, each consecutive volume has just gotten better and better and better. And then we've got One Piece. I have these Omni volumes of One Piece. I have it, I think, through this volume here, which would be 16, 17, and 18 collected. And that's pretty much as far as I got with these Omnis. I was going to keep going, but I kind of think I might just chill until I actually start getting going with One Piece. I'd started reading it. I think I got like halfway through this first volume, and then I ended up abandoning it because I'm constantly really only reading. I used to really only read for videos, and I'm trying to spend more time. I'm trying to spend more time now, like actually reading and enjoying my manga, and not just trying to get out the next video or whatever. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot more reading going on. Especially last year, I was doing rewinds or whatever, where I would talk about stuff that I've read, and I haven't really been doing any rewinds recently. I haven't been doing much reading. As I said before, with the house stuff, it's been kind of difficult to read. I haven't had as much time. Like I just started reading Animal Man because I've had like a little bit of time. Like I've been really wanting to read that series. Then we have Elephant Lead, one of my favorite animes ever. I picked up the manga. As you can see, I've only read that first volume of the manga. I've not read any of these other volumes. I'm going to start it back over because I think the anime really only covers like this much of it. So there's still like this much of it. And these are thick volumes. So like I really want to start the series again. I'm going to start it back over from the beginning and read it all the way through for a complete series. I already know how it ends, unfortunately, but I still want to read it regardless of that. And then we've got Kurosagi Corpse Delivery Service. We're getting volume 6 at some point. I'm not really sure when. I think sometime this year we're supposed to get volume 6. I've read the first 2 volumes of the Kurosagi Corpse Delivery Service. I was going to jump into volume 3, but decided to kind of hold off on it for a bit. I read a good chunk of this while I was at the hospital. If you've seen my other or earlier videos, if you've seen like my update video from a while ago, from I don't even remember when it was. I pretty much go into what happened there, but I don't want to go into it here because it's going to take too long to get back into it. But yeah, I'd read most of this while in the hospital, and then I've got it through volume 5. I do want to start volume 3 at some point. I've read every single volume, every single chapter of Gantz. I own all of it. We might get lucky enough that we're going to get Gantz in a deluxe.
What's going on? Me from a month, well into the future. The deluxe is real. It is live for the pre-orders. I'm sure we're all excited for it. All of us that are fans of Gantz are extremely excited for this insane, amazing looking deluxe. So I just wanted to say that real quick. Back to the video.
I feel like Dark Horse was kind of teasing us with potentially giving us a deluxe of Gantz, and I am 100% here for it because I love Gantz, one of my favorite series ever. Like I said, I've read every single volume, every single chapter of Gantz. I was reading Gantz to the point where like I would wait a month for each single chapter drop of Gantz to release, dude, and it was brutal. The last arc I liked until then, and was kind of like felt super rushed. But I mean, I kind of get it. I mean, when you've written that much of a series, at some point in time, you just kind of like burn out on it, I think. And then we've got Gantz G, the follow up. And then there's other follow ups too. There's like Gantz Y, I think, if I'm not mistaken. There's like a Gantz Y or something. And then we've got Gigant. I found out from a live stream. One of my subs on the live stream was telling me that Gigant is getting an anime, which is pretty wild. I've read a lot of Gigant. I haven't read the whole series, but I've read up to this one's sealed, so this one right here. I've read up to volume 7 of Gigant, but I barely remember, to be completely honest. It's been a while since I actually read it, but I did read quite a bit of it. And then right next to that, we've got Platinum End. I had started watching the anime for Platinum End, and then kind of like didn't continue it. I think I wanted to read the manga instead because I really don't watch a lot of anime. So I ended up picking up the manga and decided that I would just start the series back over again and go through it in manga form. So as you can see right there, I've got all of the manga for Platinum End. And then right next to that, we've got Bakemonogatari. So this is the manga version of Bakemonogatari. The original written version of it, like the novels, light novels, whatever you want to call them, are written by Nisio Ishin, however you pronounce it. And so I'm gonna have to move these. All right, so yeah, we have the rest of Bakemonogatari right here. We've got. I think I pre-ordered this series. I haven't read anything of it yet, but I really like the artwork. This is also by Oh Great. I think that's the reason that I wanted to check it out, is that it's Oh Great and I like his artwork. This is Kaijin Fugeki, Kindred Spirits. But yeah, it looks really good. The artwork looks pretty solid. And he's got a pretty interesting art style, I'd say. And then right here we've got Komi Can't Communicate. I've got a pretty good chunk of Komi Can't Communicate up to 19. I don't have 17 or 18. There's a whole story behind that I don't feel like going into right now. Pretty much back during COVID, like certain volumes would just like go out of print, and you weren't, or would just not be readily manufactured, and you weren't certain if they were going to come back into stock or not. And I would get paranoid, and I'd see like there was only like 2 volumes left of something, or 2 copies left of something, and I would like go out of my way to pick it up. And that's kind of why I randomly don't have 17 and 18, and like I just at some point I was like, I'm running out of space. I need to stop collecting the series, so I kind of stopped there. This right here has got to be one of the most insane, just depraved, non-stop, like what in the hell am I reading series is, start to finish. And man, this first volume has been a brutal joy to read. Absolutely insane. Like I was gonna do a video about this, but it was kind of like during a period where I just wasn't really in my 100% in the 100% good place. You know, it's still kind of rough from all the things that had happened. So I ended up not, doing a video about it, but I really did want to. I wanted to cover it because of how just over the top and the things that happened. I don't want to spoil it, I don't want to spoil too much of it, but yeah, I don't even want to say like what the actual premise of it is. But I feel like based on this artwork, it kind of gives you a pretty good idea of what you're walking into should you choose to take this twisted journey. All right, so then right after that, we've got Omori. I only have this first volume of Omori. I think there's more of it. It's like a ghost series. I'm a big fan of ghost stories, so like I definitely picked it up. Then we got Nezumi's First Love. I have not read this yet, but I've seen the artwork for it, and it looks super duper unhinged. And I'm super excited to take that journey and meet this absolute nutcase based on the artwork that I've seen of her. All right, so next up we've got the Poetry of Rand. This is a gift from my buddy Justin. You'll hear me say that a lot throughout the course of this video. So it's like 2 volumes, Poetry Brand. And then we've got Double Ecstasy by Shuzo Oshimi, one of my favorite creators ever. The first, I think it's only 2 volumes of Double Ecstasy, sorry. And then we've got The Flowers of Evil Complete. This is all 4 volumes of The Flowers of Evil right here. It's all 4 volumes of that series. And then we've got Happiness. I've read a lot of Happiness. I haven't read the whole thing. I think I've got like 3 volumes left of Happiness to finish. But it's such a brutal series, man. Like it's such a miserable series. It's like you have to be in a place, I guess, to be able to consume it. I have to at least be in a certain place to be able to read it. Same thing with kind of this story right here, Blood on the Tracks. I've read a bit of Blood on the Tracks. One of the most just unhinged things I've ever read. I think I've read up to 7, if not around volume 7 of Blood on the Tracks. It's like it's such a difficult series to put down because you just kind of want to see what the hell happens next and how much more ridiculous it gets, and it feels believable because of how broken these characters are. And I don't want to say like too much about it. I did do a video about it a while ago, so like if you were interested in more about it, you could more about that series, you could check that out. Then we got Inside Mari. I've also read a bit of Inside Mari. I can't remember up to what volume. I think I maybe even read up to volume 5 or 6. I've read up to one of these, but I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% certain which I've read up to. But I was covering them in rewind videos that I was doing, and the monthly rewind videos I was covering up to whatever I got up to. But this is pretty much like a Being John Malkovich sort of a thing. This guy right here ends up in Mari's body, that girl, and she just kind of vanishes. And he kind of like assumes her place, but nobody assumes his place. It's a weird story, but I kind of enjoyed it. Then we got Welcome Back, Alice. I've read all of Welcome Back, Alice all the way through volume 7. This is one of my favorite series. I don't remember if I liked the ending or not, but I did like it quite a bit. And then we've got Avant Garde Yumeko. Was not a fan of this one. It's pretty much a girl that draws penises. Like she's obsessed with drawing penises. And then we've got Sweet Poolside. I wasn't a fan of this one either. It's this girl who likes to get shaved or whatever. She's like super duper hairy, and this kid shaves her. Not kidding. Alright, and then we've got A Toxic Daughter, Chi-chan. I was not a fan of that series. I have not read this one. I hope I like it, because like when so far like of these single story ones that I've read, I've not really been a huge fan of. So hopefully I enjoy Shino Can't Say Her Name. Alright, so next up we've got the first 2 volumes of Soul Eater in these hardcovers. I haven't read them completely. I started reading the first volume and then kind of abandoned it, so I think I was going to start it back over. Yeah, actually my bookmark's right there. Yeah, my bookmark's right there. I barely even started reading it, so I'm going to have to like start it back over. And then we got Fire Force, which I'm a huge fan of. Fire Force has got to be one of the best series that I've read personally. That I think I enjoyed Fire Force more than I did Soul Eater. I just like the characters of Fire Force way more, I think. Personally, I know there's people that probably prefer Soul Eater. It's not a dig at anybody. I'm not trying to pick a fight with anybody. That's just my own personal opinion. I know sometimes people can be a bit abrasive about differing opinions, but I mean, I feel like we should just embrace each other liking different things. We got Zombie Makeout Club. I have the first 2 volumes of it. I think there's a third out or on the way. I'm not 100% certain. Alright, so we have Devil's Candy right here. This was initially like 4 volumes for a long time. When I picked it up, it was only 4 volumes, and there's a 5th finally on the way. It had been a while, I think, between 4 and this 5th volume that's going to drop, if it's not already out. And then we got Ibitsu. I haven't read this yet, but I do want to. Let me move these out of the way so I don't knock them over. This is an older series. I remember wanting to check this out, and I never did for whatever reason. And so, like, I definitely have it now. I want to open it at some point. Maybe, like, read it for, like, a Halloween video or something. This one right here piqued my interest because the artwork really reminded me of Araki's artwork. And I kind of thought that he was a part of this, but no, it's other creators. And it's like it looks like an older series, like Something that was brought back, resurrected from obscurity or whatever for a new generation of readers. Then we got DRCL Midnight Children by Shinichi Sakamoto, one of my favorite writers ever. And then also by Shinichi Sakamoto, we've got The Climber and Innocent, and then Innocent Rouge down there. I did a video about the first volume of The Climber. Really strong opening. It's supposed to get better as it goes too. I haven't read too much more of it, unfortunately, because I just, like I said before, I'm constantly reading for new videos and whatnot, or it was, and I'm starting to now read more recreationally than I was in the past. I'm trying to spend more time actually reading and less time worrying about the channel. And then we got, yeah, as I said, we have Innocent. Love that first volume of Innocent. I have the whole initial 3 Omni run, and then I'm also picking up these Innocent Rouge volumes as they drop. These are sealed. I haven't even finished Innocent yet, so it's gonna take me a while, I think, to finally get over to reading Rouge. And then we got the first 4 volumes of Initial D. I love that first volume. I'm not really into racing cars or whatever, but I really enjoyed that first volume of Initial D, and I kind of wanted to. I picked up more of it because I wanted to just keep going through it. And then we got Cells at Work. Loved the anime for this. The anime was so much fun that I ended up deciding to pick up these Omnis. I also picked these Omnis up, for Cells at Work Black, which is like more mature and it has to deal with cancer and things like that. And it's like a much darker series. And then right here we've got Strategic Lovers. This is trash for the most part. Like, I read this first volume. It's literally just trash. Yeah, you're not going to get anything of value out of this other than just maybe like you want to read some trash. Like, that's all there is. That's all there is to that series. All right, next up, we've got Legend of Kamui. This is a single volume that I own right here. I never picked up any more of the series because this is this is an older one, and like I wanted to read it before I went ahead and picked up any more of it. There's some series where like I may just not take the chance. Like with older series, I'm a little more like, maybe I should hang out on it until I actually read it. So this right here is Hina Tsugimura. I have, obviously you can see this is sealed. I have not read it yet. Really excited to. I love things that have to do with ghosts and horror and whatnot. One of my favorite genres of storytelling. And then Steins Gate, I loved the anime for Steins Gate, so I thought it'd be cool to own the manga. Eventually, I'll jump into the story in manga form. And then we got Yokohama Station SF. I've read the first volume of the series. I still haven't read the last 2 volumes of it, but I really enjoyed the first volume quite a bit. It's Yokohama Station, like the Yokohama Station in Japan, but like it keeps propagating itself, like it keeps expanding and whatnot. As you can see right here, like this is kind of like the station that like it just keeps replicating, keeps growing and growing and growing. And it's like the AI or whatever has mind of its own and is just making this station bigger and bigger and bigger. But it's a good sci-fi series, and it's based on a light novel, if I'm not mistaken. Want to Eat Your Pancreas. This is a series that I've been putting off reading for years because it's supposed to be brutally depressing, and I don't want to be brutally depressed right now. I've got too much going on. And we got Grand Metal Organs. I've read the first 2 volumes of this series. I think as of right now, only these 2 are out, but I've enjoyed both of them quite a bit. It reminds me really strongly of the work of Tito Munihei, of like Blam and whatnot. And then we got Triage X. This is one of the most difficult series to collect. I kind of wish I hadn't started trying to collect it because like some of the volumes are like ridiculously expensive and hard to come by. And I ended up with this volume. I thought it was an English volume, and it turned out to be a German volume, so I just randomly have it. And then we have pretty much the whole set of The Promised Neverland down to volume 20. I started watching the anime that was released by Clover, and it was trash, so I stopped watching it. I'd read a chunk of the manga at one point on the Viz Shonen Jump app, and I remember when I started watching the anime, like I kept expecting it to do the things that happened after the initial first season. I was expecting it to kind of take that route, and it doesn't take that route, and then it just started skipping things, and it left things open-ended, and then it ended like a really unsatisfactory ending. And so, yeah, don't watch the anime. please, if you're gonna check the series out, read the manga. The manga is so much better. It's so much better drawn too. And then we've got My Poison Princess is still cute. It's only 3 volumes. I have all 3 volumes of it. It's an adorable series. It's this dude. He's probably on the back cover. It's this dude, that guy right there in the puddle of blood. That dude right there is in love with this girl, and she's a princess, but she's also extremely poisonous. She is like a demon princess, and anytime that the dude gets near her, like she kills him. But when she kills him, like he just comes back to life because he is immortal. So he literally just comes back to life. Like he dies and then comes back to life right away. And then we got Tokyo Alien Bros. I have the first 3 volumes of Tokyo Alien Bros because that is all there is. It's complete in 3 volumes. The third volume is the final volume of that series. And then by the same creator, we got Hida Yasumi. I have the first 3 volumes of that as well. This is a fun series. It's like a hangout. These are both kind of like hangout series, but this one's like a little more laid back than Tokyo Alien Bros. This is definitely a lot more adult. Like almost right off the bat, there's some extremely adult situations where like Hida Yasumi, I'd say it's probably like more teen. Yeah, Hida Yasumi is like definitely teen rated, and this is clearly M rated. That is not for kids in any way, shape, or form. Like you will see it right off the bat when you start reading it, like how not for kids Tokyo Alien Bros is. And then we got Dungeon Elf right here. I really wanted to read this. I still haven't started it. I definitely need to. I picked it up because I actually got it because it dropped on sale. I think it's like retails like $16, and I got it for like 12, so I ended up picking it up. Then we got Mansect by Kago Shinichi. This was a fun one. I think I enjoyed Mansect. It's kind of depressing at one point because like he eats this woman that was like super nice, just like straight up murders her. But yeah, that's an older series. And then we got Dragon Circus. This is the same creator that made this series over here, or at least like wrote it. I think one of the dudes that wrote it for this Batman series here for Kodansha. And then we have Hyperinflation. I really want to get my hands on volume 5 and 6 of this. I can get volume 6 pretty easily, but like I don't want to just randomly have volume 4 and then volume 6. These are in Spanish, by the way. These are not in English. I don't know if this series will ever be translated into English. Hopefully, it does eventually get an English translation. But I do have the first 4 volumes, and then if I can ever get my hands on volume 5, I'll pick up the volume 6 that I see around a lot. Crueler Than Dead. This I never picked up volume 2 of this. I think it's only like 2 volumes, and for whatever reason, like I just never got the second volume of it. And this one, I had to pick this up. Because I love Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I have the 3 main characters from that series, including Rebecca and Lucy and David or whatever, from Edge Runners somewhere in this room. I'm pretty certain they are in this room, unless I'm wrong. Or no, they're not in this room. I keep forgetting. They're where my computer is. Like my computer setup, I have a bunch of random stuff. I'll take a picture of my computer setup and show you like the toys and whatnot that I have over there. And then right next to that, we've got MBQ by Felipe Smith. This is one of my most inspirational writers ever, Felipe Smith. I have both of his mangas that he did. This is MBQ. This is the first manga he ever did. And then I've got People-Chew right next to it. And this is People-Chew. I don't know if these are easy to come by or hard to come by or what, but I have it all. I've read all of People-Chew. I love People-Chew. This is Lilia's pregnancy spells the world's end. Likely just trash. like I've said before, man, I'm a fan of trash, and this is also trash. This is Girls Zombie Party. So yeah, this is also just garbage. Well, I have a sick obsession with garbage. I don't know why. Then we just randomly have the first volume of Sometimes Alia Hides Her Feelings in Russian. I never watched the anime for this, but like I'd seen that the manga was coming out, and I decided to jump on the manga train instead of the anime train because I really don't watch anime like that. Alright, and then we have Tokyo Fears Rhapsody. I have not started this yet, but like I really do want to read it. I only have the first 2 volumes of it so far. This is a really good one. The Hellbound. Loved this first volume of the Hellbound. I still haven't read volume 2. I need to. At some point in time, I got to get into it. Hellbound. It's kind of like that one series that I talked about earlier, Ikigami. Only in this, it's instead of, you know, being implanted with something when you're a kid, if you do something really bad in your life at some point in time, a crying woman will appear and tell you how long you have left to live, and at the point where your life will end, these huge beasts, like these things right here, come out of hell, the Hellbound, and they drag you into hell. It is such a good series, and it was turned into a Netflix show, if I'm not mistaken. This is really good too. This is I don't know if I want to spoil this. And it's gone. This is really good too. Immortality and Punishment. Nice catch. I'd been really wanting to check the series out, and I don't want to spoil it. I feel like you should just go into it and read it for yourself, because like there's really no spoilers, I think, on here, or maybe there are, I don't know, but I went into it blind, so I think you should go into it blind as well. But I do highly recommend checking this out if you like just psychological, super insane storytelling. Yeah, this is really good. All right, so next up we have All You Need Is Kill. This inspired Edge of Tomorrow, and then I think this also has an anime that came out or is coming out. I'm not 100% certain because I'm really behind on everything. And then we've got Ajin Demi-Human Complete. These are these thick Omni volumes. I have the first two of that. We've got all of Gunsmith Cats up to Gunsmith Cats First, which is the sequel series to Gunsmith Cats. I obviously haven't started these. You can see they're sealed. I really do want to. I've been collecting all these older series that are getting reprinted, or at least getting a first print, whatever it is, whichever one of those two it is. Because I want to support them. I want to get more stuff in English, older stuff, you know, older series. So I always support when old series get published in English. I always try to support them. And then we got Blade of the Immortal. I definitely need to read the series. This has been on these shelves for way too many years, and I still haven't started them, and I'm extremely ashamed of myself, as you should all also be ashamed of me. And then by the same creator, Samura, we have, I don't know how to pronounce that. It's like Die Ver Gelder or something. But yeah, this is kind of like a noir-ish looking thing. It looks really fun, so I'll definitely have to check that out at some point. I was gonna sell this at one point, but I just, for whatever reason, just never sold it. I still have it. This is Bloodblade. Dracula is reincarnated as a young girl. That's really the premise of that one. Love and Hell. This is supposed to be pretty brutal. I really want to read this. It looks like, according to my buddy Justin, it's supposed to be pretty gross. So I'm definitely gonna check it out at some point. Plus Size Elf. I have the first two volumes of the series. I think I've read both of these first two volumes of it. I never picked up any more of it because it's kind of like I get the gist of what it's doing, and I just didn't really want to sell them either because I thought it was kind of fun. And then after that, we've got Fake Rebellion. I think this was only 2 volumes. I have both volumes of the series. I haven't started it yet at all, but I do want to at some point. It's only 2 volumes, so I could probably just read them both and knock them out pretty quickly when I do decide to read it. This is one that is in Spanish. I decided to check this out because of how just absolutely nuts this artwork looks. This is Shiga Hime. I'm not really sure what the Shiga is, but Hime is like princess or whatever. And then you can see right here we have the first 5 volumes of this series, and all these covers. That's what sold me on this. All these covers just look so insane, dude. This is like one of those series that like I wish we could get in English. This covers just look so rad. And then we've got Ruri Dragon. I love Ruri Dragon. I read this manga as the chapter drop on the Manga Plus app, and I'm caught up pretty much with Ruri Dragon. So let's take these down. Let's take all these down so we can get to the manga beneath. Alright, Gokurakugai. This is one of my favorite ongoing series. This is like a monthly release schedule for Gokurakugai. I talked about this in a video a long time ago, probably like 3 years ago at this point. And it releases so slowly that I think we're up to like chapter 30 or whatever, which kind of tracks, you know what I mean? If it's been 3 years and we get a chapter like once a month, it kind of tracks. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. And I stopped picking it up after volume 4 because I kind of it was one of those series that I was just picking up to support, but I've already read I mean, I read it like as it drops, so like I really don't need to collect it anymore. And I was really only collecting it to support. And right now, at this point, I just want to collect things that like I'm going to read that I haven't read yet. I picked up Iki Tausen because this is a series that I'd seen the anime for and loved the anime, and I wanted to own it in manga form, and having it in these versions just felt right. And these remix Spanish editions where it's like you're collecting this series in these nice thick volumes. I absolutely had to get my hands on it. And in English, I think it's Battle Vixens or something. That's what it's called. But in Japanese, it's obviously Ikitausen. And in Spanish, they also kept the Ikitausen. So yeah, I'm pretty happy to have finally collected this whole set of Ikitausen. I've been picking these up as I see them. Like every time I'd see a volume, I would pick one up. And I finally collected all of it. Like I'm a completionist for sure. Like I like to complete whole series of things. Like if I have some kind of attachment to it. All right, and then up here we've got Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I've got these little Funko itty bitty things up here for Dragon Ball, and it kind of made sense, to kind of keep them up here with DBZ and Dragon Ball. But for now, we're gonna take them off to be able to get a better look at these volumes. I'm just gonna move them over one. Move them over here for now to the other shelf. Alright, so we got Dragon Ball. I grew up with Dragon Ball as a kid in the 90s. Like I used to watch the anime for Dragon Ball. This is back before, we called things anime. Back then it was just manga. It was just cartoons. To me growing up, it was just cartoons. This was just cartoons. Like it wasn't, anime. We didn't know what anime was back then. At least to us, that grew up where I grew up, we didn't know what anime was back then. To us, these were all just cartoons, but they were cartoons that really impacted us and meant the absolute world to us growing up. And it still does to this day mean the absolute world to me and to many other people. Manga theater. I haven't finished this. I've read like a nice little chunk of it, or at least a little bit of it. I thought I read more. Well, yeah, I started reading manga theater as well. I want to read Dragon Ball and then, work my way through Dragon Ball Z. I will at some point. It's just finding time to do these things. It's tough, dude, especially as you get older and like you run, like, and you know, live your life for your career. It makes things a lot more difficult. You got Sandland. And then right here, one of my absolute favorite anime series of all time. I had to pick up the manga. I will at some point like really start putting a dent into owning these Viz Big volumes. I don't know when I'll start to really like collect them. It's just like I really only have so much space, and I don't want to just fill it up with one series. But yeah, I mean Inuyasha is one of the ones that definitely meant a lot to me when I was a kid. Growing up, I used to watch all the episodes of Inuyasha every night, like on Adult Swim. I think they would come out at 9. Like, no, not 9. They would come out at like 11 or whatever o'clock at night. I used to watch them all the time. Summertime Rendering. This is such a banger series. I've read all of this except for, I think this is the last volume I have to read. I'm on the final volume. I've read everything else of Summertime Rendering. I don't know why I haven't read this final volume. Maybe because like subconsciously I just don't want it to end. But it's so good. This series is so goddamn good, dude. Just start to you can't say finish because I haven't finished it yet, but like from where it starts to like over here to like this fifth volume, it's just been insane. And some of the things that happen are just so ridiculous. And then you got Taco P's Original Sin. I have not read this yet for whatever reason. I guess it's supposed to be pretty brutal. It's got an anime too. This has an anime as well. I haven't seen either of those. Then we got King in Limbo. This was a recommendation from the Creepy Geek, who is a fellow YouTuber. Definitely need to read that still. I have not read it. I'm like terrible at reading things. When people like give me manga, recommend me things, like it takes me forever to like finally read it. And then we got Face Meat by Bonten Taro. I liked Face Meat quite a bit. There's some pretty unhinged stories in that collection. And then we got Stripped to the Flesh. This is about a trans man's journey to becoming a man from having been a woman. As you can, oh, never mind. I thought it was gonna be on the back, but it's not. But yeah, this is pretty much a trans man's journey to becoming a man. And given that this is Pride Month, I guess it kind of makes sense to read something along those lines. And then we've got Ashita no Joe Fighting for Tomorrow. I'd started reading the series at one point. There's no bookmark in there. But I did start reading this at one point in time, and I never finished it for whatever reason, never continued it. And then I got a lot of Dandadan, or Dandadan, depending on how pedantic you want to be. I'm going to move this Turbo Granny up here. I'm going to move this Momo also up here. And we got a bunch of Dandadan down here. One of my absolute favorite manga series is. I've read all of Dandadan. I stopped collecting it for the same reason as the other series is, because like I read it on the Manga Plus app and I was just collecting to support. But I decided that I've collected enough of it. And then we got Black Torch. This is all of Black Torch. This just got an anime. I haven't read it yet. But I did read a fair chunk of Heart Gear by the same creator. I've read most of Heart Gear. The only thing I've still yet to read is this final volume. This 7th volume is what I have to read now to complete Heart Gear. And then after that, we've got Pearl Harbor Descent Record. This is something that's mentioned in the game. They talk about the events of this in the game. I think initially it was just like 3 volumes, but then it did well, and I think people wanted more of it. So they decided to drop even more volumes of Yorha Descent Record. And then we've got Snowball Earth. This is a fun series about a dude who has like 0 social skills, and he ends up surrounded by people, and he has to like try to speak to them. it's hilarious. And they're like, it's like a frozen world. Cosmos, I've read this first volume, liked it quite a bit. I think pretty sure I have the first 3 volumes of Cosmos, but yeah, the first one's a really good volume. Yep, right here I've got volumes 2 and 3 of Cosmos, and then right after that we've got Made in Abyss. This is a whole box set. I traded my buddy Justin some records for this Made in Abyss box set, and then he also had the rest of it through 12, so I traded him a bunch of records to get my hands on that. And then we've got Battle Royale Enforcers. I love Battle Royale, the manga. I've read the first Omni of the manga, and then I also am a huge fan of the film. That was my introduction to it. Then we got Slasher Maidens. I've got all of Slasher Maidens that is released up to this point, I think. I don't know I think it's still an ongoing series, but I could be wrong. Up through 11 of Slasher Maidens. This is one half of the dudes that did Akame Got Kill. So this is the dude that drew Akame Got Kill. This is his own personal series. And then right after that, we've got Chained Soldier. This is a series that I actually really like a lot. It's kind of trashy, but it's actually pretty well drawn and written and whatnot. So we're going to have to move all of these figures, all these toys, to get to near the end of the line of the manga. But first, before we do that, let's take a quick commercial break.
Excuse me, sir. Do you need help finding anything?
Oh no, I'm good. Thank you. I'm just checking out the mangas.
I'm sorry, but did you just say mangas?
Yeah, they're mangas, right? It's a room. Yeah, I mean, they're mangas, right? It's a room full of mangas.
Oh my Lanta, I need you to leave right now, sir. Get out.
I don't think it matters, right? Tomato, mangas.
Get out.
Alright, dude. Whatever.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Come on down to Electric Collectors Manga Corner, where you two will be treated like family. Now, back to the video.
Alright, so we ended on Chain Soldier on the last part. So we're going to pick up with Akame Got Kill 0. This was a gift from my buddy Justin, who's gifted me, as you can tell at this point, a lot of manga. And then we got Sensei's Pious Lie. This is Inyo Asano's wife. I have not read this, as you can tell, it's still sealed. I picked it up forever ago, and like I intended to read it, and then like I heard that it was okay, and I just ended up never reading it. But I don't know, man. Maybe one day I'll I'll finally give it a chance. And we got Prophecy, the complete collection of Prophecy in a single volume. And then right next to that, by the same creator, we got the Spanish edition of Manhole. This is also in English, and I think 3 volumes, if I'm not mistaken, and it's like 2 volumes in Spanish. And then we got the first 3 volumes of the Elden Ring manga. I'm a massive fan of Elden Ring. It's got to be one of my favorite video games ever. I've put an ungodly amount of hours into Elden Ring and Shadow of the Erdtree. Right next to that, we got Angel Tomahawk. I haven't read this series like whatsoever, so I can't really tell you anything about it. But it does kind of remind me of Turok a little bit. Just the artwork and the Tomahawk thing. I don't know, man. That kind of like gives me Turok vibes. And then we got Gaia-chan Isn't Scary. I got the first 2 volumes of Gaia-chan Isn't Scary. I read the first volume for a video. And then we got the Spawn manga. I am a huge fan of Spawn. Like, I loved the comic when I was a kid growing up. I used to read the comic a lot. And I watched the animated series as well. And then we got the first volume of Toxic Super Beasts. I don't know if I'm going to continue that one. I don't know if I'm going to read that one or not. I ended up just picking it up on a whim. And now I'm just kind of like holding on to it. And then after that, we got Soul Liquid Chambers. All 3 volumes of Soul Liquid Chambers. It's only like a 3-volume set. Dororo by Osamu Tezuka. We have the whole complete set of Dororo. Or at least I think it's the whole complete set. Yeah, it is. It's the whole complete edition of Dororo. And then right next to that, we've got the first volume of Astro Boy of the Omnibus edition. Alright, and then next to that, we have Hunter x Hunter. Got some volumes of Hunter x Hunter. And then after Hunter x Hunter, which is one of my favorite series, is at least the anime. I've not read the manga, but I do have several Hunter x Hunter figures up here. A bunch of characters right here from Hunter x Hunter. Next to that, next to Hunter x Hunter, we have Shaman King. This is the first, I guess, 5 volumes of Shaman King right here. And then right next to those, chain reaction. Right next to those, we have the Hungry Succubus Wants to Consume Him. It's a 3-volume set. I have all 3 volumes of the Hungry Succubus. Beneath that, we've got Meth E Meth. Interesting name. Pretty interesting name. I've not read that, unfortunately, so I can't give you any details about it. This is a fun one. Level 1 Demon Lord and 1 Room Hero. Massive fan of this series. Like, I started reading the manga, I ended up watching the anime and loved the anime. It's like this Demon Lord that is defeated but then comes back like in chibi form and starts dressing up like a girl. And there is this dude right here who was the hero at one point. I don't know if he's on the back cover. No, he's not on the back. He was the hero at one point, but he kind of lets himself go and becomes a slob after beating the Demon Lord. It's a fun series. And then we've got MPD Psycho. I have only the first 2 volumes of the series. I never really got into it. I did read both of these volumes of it, but it was just like, it got kind of convoluted for me. Like, too much stuff going on. It like predates that M. Night Shyamalan movie that I can't think of the name of, Split. Predates that. Then we've got a bunch of Gotanabe. We got the Shadow over Innsmouth. We've got the Shadow Out of Time. These are out of order, by the way. Now we've got Hound and Other Stories. These are all H.P. Lovecraft stories that he's done. Call of Cthulhu and The Color Out of Space. And then after that, we have one of my favorite series, is 7 Billion Needles. It's only 4 volumes. The last 2 volumes of this were extremely difficult to come by. But I've had the first 2 volumes forever. Read the first 2 volumes a lifetime ago, years ago. Then we have Lo-Fi Girl. We have 2 volumes of South Park, the TV show from back in the day. 2 episodes from back in the day. And then we got 8mm. And then we've got a bunch of Gazo Umez. We've got the Drifting Classroom. The first 3, or not really the first 3, but the whole complete set of the Drifting Classroom. I'm pretty sure this is the whole complete set of Orochi in 4 volumes. That completes Orochi. And then we have Cat-Eyed Boy. I've only read that first volume of Cat-Eyed Boy. I've not read the second volume. Then I have the first 3 volumes of My Name is Shingo. I think it's like 5 or 6 volumes altogether. I've only picked up till the 3rd volume so far. I think we're getting even more umez in English coming up. And then we got Mushishi. This I used to, or I can't say I used to, because like I'd see the anime was on, but like I never watched it. I ended up picking up this really nice hardcover. I think this is the I can't even say the word. Kino Kunuya, whatever edition. Having an aneurysm over here. Alright, and then beneath that we have a ton of Urosawa. We've got 20th Century Boys all the way down the line, and then followed by that we've got Monster into Pluto, into Asadora, into some of the other, I guess, just random things that he's done, and it all collapsed. Yeah, so it's all just collapsing. It really is just all collapsing. It doesn't want to play nice. So then we got Muji Urushi. This is also by Urasawa. And then we got Sneeze. And then we got Billy Bat, which you can see I have a bookmark in. And then we got Dogen Anki. I've not read this. I only have the first volume of it. And then next up we have Orb, the first volume of Orb on the movements of the Earth. I still haven't even read this. I picked this up forever ago and then never read it. I don't even know if I really want to read it, to be honest. I kind of just like, it was like an on the whim pickup. And then we've got Gachi Akuta. We have pretty much a fair amount of Gachi Akuta up through volume 9 of that series. I've read, I think, up to volume 3, so I need to read this volume. Or maybe I have read this volume. Or no, I don't know, I can't remember, to be honest. But I haven't read that much of it, unfortunately. I really need to put it into Gachi Akuta. And then we've got FLCL, the omnibus edition of FLCL. And then we've got Mysterious Girlfriend X. I have the whole complete set of Mysterious Girlfriend X in 6 volumes. I remember the anime from back in the day. And that's how I found out about it. Then realized it was a manga. I started to read the manga, but I kind of fell off on it. I got to start back over again. And then over here in the corner we have 2 volumes, or the complete 2 volumes of the X-Men manga. This was only ever, I guess, like 2 volumes, and I have both volumes of it. I haven't read it yet, but I collected it because I'm a fan of the X-Men, and I've been a fan since I was a kid, you know, back in the days of the cartoon, of the 90s cartoon, I should say. And then right next to that, beneath that, I should say, we have Homunculus, one of the most revered series. Like, this has been a cult classic for such a long time. Finally in English, the whole set in English, thanks to 7 Seas. And then right next to that, we got Ichi the Killer. I got the first 4 volumes of these omnis of Ichi the Killer. Homunculus is really good too. Homunculus, I think, has one of the wildest story arcs ever. Same thing with Ichi the Killer, but Ichi the Killer is kind of like right off the bat insane, whereas Homunculus like kind of builds the tension over time. And then this is more of like a shonen entry by Hideo Yamamoto. This is definitely like a lot more shonen. There's like some more adult stuff that happens in it, or I guess like bullying and whatnot, that kind of makes it a little more, in my opinion, a little more adult. And then we've got, and then right next to that, we have more Hideo Yamamoto. I don't have the original Voyeurs, or Voyeur, I should say, but I do have Voyeurs Inc., which is a direct sequel to Voyeur. I still need to get Voyeur. It's been kind of difficult to find it because it is extremely expensive whenever I do find it. And then we got Claymore. Got the whole set of Claymore at 27 volumes, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll move these out of the way. I'm pretty certain it's like 27 volumes of Claymore. It completes the whole set of Claymore. I had seen the anime, so I watched all of the Claymore anime. At one point in time, and I could barely remember it, so I decided to, check out the manga and see how the manga goes. And I'm pretty sure the manga goes way further than the anime did. And then right next to that, we've got Phantom Invasion. Like I said, I'm not going to worry too much about pulling that cover out all the way, given that it is pretty risque, I guess. I don't know how much of it I can actually show. So next up, we've got Rai. This is such a fun series. I've had an absolute blast with it. It's this girl right here who turns into like a kaiju. I guess it's kind of like kaiju number 8, but it's a lot more fun. It's not nearly as serious as kaiju number 8. I've read the first 2 volumes of Rai. I haven't not read the 3rd volume. And then next to that, we've got Taking Care of God. This is a gift from my buddy Justin. I haven't read it at all. I do need to. I suck as a friend because this dude's gifted me a lot of manga and I've read like none of it. And then we got 333 Stories. This is by After Dark Comics. Or Afterlight Comics, whatever. I haven't read that yet. I mean, I did read this. What am I talking about? I did read this. This is wild, man. This is a lot of fun. I actually follow this creator on IG. And then we got Planets. I don't have the hardcover versions of Planets. I have these paperback ones. And then after that, we have Last Quarter by Ai Yazawa. Same creator as the beloved series Nana, which I actually have right here. I have the first 3 volumes of the Nana 25th anniversary omnibus editions. I've read this first volume of Nana, absolutely loved it, decided to pick up Last Quarter, and then I also picked up the next 2 volumes of Nana in these deluxe editions, or not really deluxe editions, with these omnibus editions, and I need to read volume 2 at some point. Alright, and then beneath that we have one of my absolute favorite series of all time. That is going to be Full Night. I've read every volume of Full Night that I own except for this volume right here, volume 9. This just arrived. But I have read everything else 1 through 8. This is one of those series that just gets more ridiculous as it goes, and the stakes just get more and more wild, and characters that you really come to care about get put into these insane perils where you really think that anything could happen and they could die. And it is extremely soul crushing at times, but just it's one of those series where like once you start reading it, like you need to know what happens next. It's pretty much like a world where the sun is blotted out by clouds or something like that, and it just like is out of view forever, and it's eternally night. And these people fuse themselves with plants. Like you can go through a surgery where there's like a seed implanted into your body, and after the seed is implanted, it grows within you, and you eventually turn into a plant and provide oxygen for the rest of humanity. A really bleak, really brutal story. And then we got Tank Chair. This is also brutal, but this is like more of a hilarious kind of a brutal. This is like Hobo with a Shotgun, like Turbo Kid or something, just like really nonsensical fun. But it does actually get a lot better as it goes. The story like actually starts to get pretty good, which you wouldn't consider from a story called Tank Chair that it would actually have like a pretty interesting story. And then by the same creator right here, we got The Pits of Hell. This is all by Ebisu. And then also have I Wish I Was Stupid. Not even kidding, that's literally the name. I Wish I Was Stupid. These are both by Ebisu. This is like old school manga. And then here's another old school manga. This is Hide and Seek. I haven't read Hide and Seek yet. Definitely should. It's from the Smudge line. And then we've got Sawada and the House of Monsters. I got the first 3 volumes of that. I've read, I think, only the first 2 volumes of it. I've not read the 3rd volume. And then beside that, we've got Super String. This is something that I have not read either, but given that Boichi did the artwork for it, I picked it up just based on that. I don't know when I'm going to read it, if I get to it at some point in the near future. And then next to that, we have Eden of Witches. So I picked this up because the artwork reminded me so much of Witches by Daisuke Igarashi. Like there's just something about it that like it reminded me so much of his artwork. And I don't know, man, like when I saw it, I was just like, I need to pick this series up. And then we got Sekisei Inko. I don't know if we're ever going to get this in English. This is by Ken Wakui, who is pretty much best known for Tokyo Revengers. This is a series he did before Tokyo Revengers. And then we've got Tokyo Revengers. Right next to that, we have Tokyo Revengers. So I have the first 3 of these omnis for Tokyo Revengers. I've not read too much of it. I did watch the anime. I watched the first season of the anime of Tokyo Revengers, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. But I did read this first omnibus. I've not read the second one, and then eventually, it's like a pretty long series, so I need to, I guess, find the investment to want to continue it, and then just randomly have a volume of Mujina into the Deep, Volume 3. The reason I randomly have this is that I forgot that I ordered Volume 3 and ended up ordering it twice from the same place, so I have it twice. Oh, you know what? I also forgot that I have more Tokyo Revengers down here, so yeah, I have, I guess, the first 5 volumes of Tokyo Revengers. I didn't see these. And then these have fallen over, but yeah, we got Astro Royale. It's a bummer that this series didn't go on for much longer, because it really deserved to have a more full run. But I did start to support it. I picked up the first 2 volumes of it, and then, I read all of it. I read the whole 50 chapter run of it on the Manga Plus app. It's really a bummer that it didn't get to continue on. But I don't know, hopefully the next thing that Gen Wakui does takes off much better in the future. And then right next to that, we've got Space Punch. I have the first 2 volumes of Space Punch. I've read the first volume of it, liked it quite a bit, decided to pick up the second volume, which I have not yet read, unfortunately. And then with that, we conclude the paperback and smaller hardcover part of the tour, and now we will get to the final part, which is the oversized deluxe editions, and then with that we will close this video out. Alright, so on the last shelf we have all of Berserk by Kentaro Miura, all the way through 14. I've read through 7. I take the wrappers off as I read them, so I haven't just removed the wrappers off of everything. Kind of helps me too to just kind of keep track of what I've actually read and what I haven't read yet. But yeah, I've read pretty much everything for Berserk. I pretty much read all 7. I pretty much read the first 7 volumes of Berserk, and then eventually need to start volume 8 and kind of work my way down the line and finish all of Miura Sensei's, work on the series, and then eventually get into the stuff by Koji Mori and Studio Gaga. And then right next to that we have Hellsing. So I have the first 3 volumes of Hellsing. It's only 3 volumes, I should say. The first 2 volumes, or read the first full volume of Hellsing, and then I got halfway through the second volume, and then obviously 3 is sealed, so I haven't read 3. I started to read Trigun and didn't end up continuing, and as you can see, this is still sealed. I do want to continue it because the anime for Trigun is one of my favorite anime series ever. So I definitely want to continue it. I was going to do a video with a buddy of mine, and it just kind of didn't happen. He had a lot of stuff happen to him in pretty rapid succession. I'm not going to out the man. I don't want to put him on blast or anything. But yeah, it just kind of ended up not happening. Maybe I'll end up at some point in time just reading it and doing a video about it on my own. And then we have Wolf and Cub volumes 1 and 2 of these thick omnis. I read the first one all the way through to completion. Loved the first one. I need to read the second one still. Then we got Old Boy. I've got the first omni of Old Boy. I still haven't picked up the second one. I do need to. At some point I probably will, because I do want to continue that series. We have At the Mountains of Madness. That is the complete set, because At the Mountains of Madness is split into 2 smaller volumes, and in this it's collected into 1 bigger volume. And then after that we've got Vinland Saga. I have the first 4 volumes of Vinland Saga. I'd owned the small hardcover versions of it, and I think I'd read the first 3 or 4 of them. And so I read essentially maybe what comprises the first 2 books, of these hardcovers, but I'm not 100% certain on that. However, I did read quite a bit of it, and I decided to, trade them in for these omnibus hardcovers, these deluxe omnibus hardcovers. So yeah, I'm gonna eventually, just restart the whole series back over again. And then we've got Witch Hat Atelier. I have not read this yet, but I'm really excited to jump into it. It's supposed to be one of the most gorgeous looking series ever. And then right next to that, we've got Ghost in the Shell. I still need to get into Ghost in the Shell. I mean, I liked the film, from the 90s. Like, love the film, I should say. I have it on VHS. I have the Blu-ray of it, and I also have like the Scarlett Johansson one. I don't know why. And then we got Neji Gahara Hologram by Inyo Asano. And then beneath that, we have Vagabond, the first 3 volumes of Vagabond. I have read the first 2 volumes of it. I have not started the 3rd volume. As you can see, this is still sealed, but I loved the first 2 volumes of it. And I just got to make time to get back into it. It's tough, dude. I don't have as much time as I would like. Even trying to get this video out, it's been a lot of work, because I just really don't have a lot of free time. And then we got Tech on Concrete, which I think the film is being re-released in theaters in like 4K or something. And then we have an absolute classic right here. A series that defies the laws of physics. If you know, you know. This is High School of the Dead. This is the color version of High School of the Dead, the first 2 volumes, or rather the only 2 volumes of High School of the Dead. And then we've got Ubel Blot. I have the first 2 volumes of Ubel Blot. Both are sealed. I need to start it at some point. I've been slacking on reading a lot of the stuff that I own. And then we have Battle Royale, this Deluxe Omni. I have read this. I'm excited to get Volume 2 eventually. And then we got Junji Ito's Cat Diary, Yonen Mu. I've read the paperback version of it, but I've not read this hardcover version of it. I've had enough sadness. I don't need more sadness. Another If You Know, You Know. And then I got 2 and 3 of these colossal editions of Attack on Titan. I'd started reading the series on apps and whatnot, and eventually I just decided I wanted to keep reading it on paper. So I ended up continuing from where I left off in the digital version. So I don't have 1 and 2, and I kind of don't want to collect them anymore. I'm good. I'm not a Attack on Titan super fan, so I don't need to own every single thing of Attack on Titan. And then right beneath that we have Blam, an absolute classic by Tsutomu Nihei. I have the whole collection of Blam, 6 volumes. This is a series where the storytelling kind of takes, a backseat to just absolutely wild visuals. And then beneath that, or next to that, I should say, we have Dementia 21 by Shintaro Kago, the man, the myth, the legend, Shintaro Kago. I follow him on Instagram. His artwork is insane. I love it. If you've seen his artwork, you know that it is absolutely no holds barred bananas artwork. And then next to that we have the hardcover versions, because there's paperback versions as well, of Akira. This is from the deluxe box set of Akira, and I have all 6 volumes in these deluxe edition hardcovers of Akira. Then we got Akira Club right here, which is artwork or whatever from the series. And then on the other side of that we have which one is this? Heaven's Door. And then next to Heaven's Door we have Ultra Heaven. I thought I'd picked up the 2nd volume of Ultra Heaven, but I guess not. These are some And then right next to Ultra Heaven we have another series that I can't pull out because it is extremely nudity heavy. I'm gonna try to see if I can't censor it. But yeah, this is right next to it. I have to censor it a bit. But yeah, that's next to Ultra Heaven. And then right next to that we got Itadakimasu by Mako Vice. Mako Vice came out of left field with some of the most wild artwork ever. Absolutely love Mako Vice. This is something that you would have gotten if you supported the Kickstarter for Mako Vice's latest manga, which I think was Red Rice at the time. And now there's another one coming out, a fourth manga, so definitely excited for that. And I will support everything that Mako Vice, pursues in the future. And then beneath that, we have the whole box set of this Battle Angel Alita Deluxe Edition. There's a lot of different versions of Battle Angel Alita, so I don't really know which edition this is. I don't know if this is like the initial Battle Angel Alita or an offshoot or whatever, but I had to collect it because like after seeing the film Battle Angel Alita, like I just got like this need to want to check out the manga. So yeah, I will at some point jump into it and take that journey for myself, as is a thing that I like to do. I like to take journeys for myself versus being told about series. And that is it. That is the complete manga tour of this room. I hope that you've all enjoyed our time together. This was an absolute pain to put together, to bring this room to life. If any of you saw my last video going through, just all the boxes and everything, trying to get everything taken out, all the manga, everything organized, it has been an absolute pain. But I'm extremely happy with the results. I'm extremely happy with the manga that I have. I'm extremely happy with the way that everything turned out. Without you all watching and supporting this thing, there would be no channel. This is because of all the love that you've shown me, that I've kept this thing up. I've kept doing this for a long time. I mean, I would still collect regardless if I had a channel or not, but I like being able to share these things with you all. I like being able to talk about manga and, see how you're all doing, see what you're all reading. It's been an absolute joy, 5 years deep into this just unreal journey. And some of you maybe been around since the beginning, so you know the origins of the channel, where it all started, in that tiny room. And then, you've seen me come this far to becoming a homeowner and having essentially like a whole dedicated room just to my manga and to my figures and whatnot. So that's it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, for spending this unreal amount of time with me and going through this massive collection that I've amassed over a really long period of time. This wasn't overnight. This was years upon years of collecting. I've been collecting since like 2014. So don't ever feel like you need to catch up, like you need to collect like 100 volumes a month every month or something. Like, don't do that to yourself. Take that from me, somebody that did something similar to that. There was periods of time where I would just buy like insane amounts of manga just right off the bat, back to back, and you'll end up with a lot of stuff that you don't care about and that you just want to get rid of if you do that. So I definitely, like, from an experienced collector, I'd say look at things that you actually want to collect within the genres that you like, and don't just pick things up because it's a shiny new toy. Collect the things that are within your wheelhouse, even if you have to read it digitally or something, just to see if it's something that you're going to like before you go ahead and commit, to buying like 30 volumes of a series or something. But, enough of the dad talk. I'm not trying to tell you all how to live your lives. Ultimately we're all adults and we all have to make our own choices. Just thought I'd share a little bit of wisdom. But yeah, that's it. I really hope to make new content in this house, in this manga room, and share whatever I'm reading with you all, and keep doing live videos, keep doing different things, keep expanding this channel. I feel like since I'm in a new space, this is like the perfect time to take it into the next, I don't even know, the next plateau, the next journey or whatever, see where the hell this thing goes. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me. That has meant the absolute world to have you all along for this ride. Please take care of yourselves.